Good morning, beautiful Maitreya tribe. Welcome back. Full moon reading. Quite an interesting one, actually. So just bear with me. I've got some info on you about the full moon before we go into the cards. And I'm also changing up the questions on the cards. I'm getting a bit bored. To all of you who've liked, shared, subscribed, commented, guys, thank you so, so much. I really appreciate it. Please continue. Those who are new, welcome. Mara Scalacci, Reiki Master, Psychic Medium, and Metaphysical Teacher. Really, really glad to have you join us. For those of you who are back, thanks for joining. Guys, big moon this full moon. It's our second one this month. So we call that the blue moon. And of course, given that it's on Halloween, it's going to be absolutely spectacular. I love that. And of course, for those of us who celebrate and who worship with Wicca, it's our celebration of Beltane in the southern hemisphere and Samhain we pronounce it the Samhain in the northern hemisphere. So big weekend ahead of us, guys. That's why these are going out now. Once you start getting ready for your manifestations, your releases, whatever needs to happen. Okay, so I actually have made some notes. If I'm flipping over, it's just there was quite a lot of information that I'd found out about this full moon, so I wanted to just like break it down for you really quickly. Really nice little fun fact. This moon is only occurs once every 19 years, a full moon on Halloween. So that's quite cool. Just that was a little random fact. So this full moon is in Taurus, moon energy, and Scorpio sun. So they are oppositing sun and moon energies. So obviously earth sign with water sign energy, okay, which really is about now balancing our love for collection or getting stuff, which is the Taurus stuff. That's earth sign. They like to be stable and be financially stable, with the sharing, the water sign, like the Scorpio, of giving what we can to others. Okay, so beautiful energy coming up. Lot to actually look at, right? So first thing we need to look at is realigning ourselves with our intentions. Are we on the right path? Is this where we need to be? If not, we need to realign, recalculate, recalibrate. Okay. The other thing is that this is a great moon. I know it's going to sound, but for those of you who have been in two minds about leaving relationships that you feel are unhealthy or toxic in any way, this is the moon to help you do that. This is the full moon to release those energies. It's a very, very powerful moon for that one. Right, we need to look at releasing habits of stubbornness. Bless you Taurians out there, please don't read into this. Actually, Scorpios are stubborn as well, to be very honest. They're both very stubborn signs. But it's releasing habits related to stubbornness. So whether it is a stubborn habit, as in it's a habit that just like you just can't get rid of kind of thing, we start looking at working at that. Or habits of stubbornness where you just are relenting in your own stubbornness, where you just stand your ground and you won't concede or change anything. This is the kind of energy to release all of that. Okay. We also have a look at balancing our personal power with this. Okay. Both energies in terms of astrology are quite strong signs, Taurus and Scorpio. So this is about a balance of personal power. Again, the stubborn does kind of kick in here a little bit, and learning to balance our power and move forward effectively with that. Okay. Right. And then the last thing I've written here, it's going to be an interesting one. There are going to be some surprises. This full moon is linked to Uranus, which is the ruler of freedom, revolution, and surprises. So there's a good chance there are going to be some surprises popping up in this full moon. Good luck and good speed. I hope they're good ones. Let's hope that they are treats and not tricks. You just got to go with it. Okay, guys, so I'm changing the questions up. You know that I normally use the Colette Baron Reed ones for the different, for new moon and full moon. So I've just created 3 quick questions, and I've drawn the cards just so that everybody knows when I do the little touch base and I draw the cards, I take jumpers. I don't choose the cards. So when I'm shuffling, the card that jumps out, I believe is the one that Spirit wants us to work with. And I have to tell you, I was like, interesting. Okay, so the first question I ask is, what do we need to be aware of for this full moon? Okay, and the card that came up was number 7, community. Okay, now it is an interesting card because what we've just spoken about, I better change hands because I know that the little Maitreya logo comes up and I do this every time. The energy of sharing, receiving but giving at the same time. Okay, I'm being told that this is a great time for us to give. It's not necessarily just financial giving. It can be any kind of giving. Remember that the more grateful we are for what we have and the more we can share what we have with a sincere heart, the more the universe responds to that energy. Okay, I'm also being told to actually look around you. I feel like this is a time where where although we need to share, we also need to be the recipients of. So if you are needing something, look to your tribe. I'm being told very strongly that tribes are strengthening at the moment. We're going into massive, massive shifts at the end of the year. 21st of December, I will talk to you. I have mentioned it. I will talk to you about it again. Massive energetic shifts coming up, and we're going into the age of Aquarius. Age of Aquarius is all about community. Okay, it's all about going back to that. You don't have, I do, so you can have this, and then understanding the concept of reciprocity. So it's not just about one person giving all the time and other person taking. There's a very different energy coming in with this age of Aquarius. Okay, so just so that you are aware, this is what we are needing to be aware of. Okay, we are moving into this whole different shift. Okay, now what do we need to release? Now, one of the things I said about the full moon was that we needed to look at releasing old relationships that don't serve us. And Stu's got the card number 45. Sorry, man holding a heart came up. Now, 4 and 5 is 9. It's the ending of a cycle. Please, this is non-gender specific. So, like, I mean, I don't do boys, let's be honest. We all know that. So it could be the divine masculine energy. It could be anything like that. Please don't read into the fact that you're, you may be a guy watching this going, really, I've got to release a man. This is also not just about releasing relationships that are romantic relationships. God, I struggled to find that word. Really, first word sounds like. Okay, but this is where he's carrying a heart. Anything that affects our general sense of joy. Okay, so whether it's a toxic relationship with family members, with friends, with partners, whether it's a toxic relationship with yourself, that is the most damaging toxic relationship to be in, is the one with yourself. It's time to let it go. Okay, it's time to release all of this now. Start afresh. Guys, I promise you, I know that this year is hard. I get it in a million different ways. And I mean that seriously. I'm coming up now. I'm for those who aren't on my Facebook and who didn't get to read the post that I put up, I'm in the process now of preparing to lose my foster mom. And she raised me from the time I was 6 weeks old, okay, until I was 5, at which time I went back to my biological mom, my mom. And I'm preparing to lose her. And she will be the 4th human that I love that has been in my life almost my entire life that I've lost this year. On top of that, I lost a fur baby. So there's 5 losses this year already. So I get it. We all have had a shit year. Not to mention the fact that there's been the thing out there, this virus out there, and all that nonsense. But when we are looking at this energy around everything, okay, release whatever is no longer serving you. And we are, how do I say this? With the losses of everything that has happened and the hardness of the year, we are being forced into situations where we need to look at what we are not seeing. Okay, we are forced to look at ourselves now, go introspectively. We've spoken about this for the last couple of months. I mean, I honestly sound like a bit of a record player with this. And now is the time. This is a very powerful moon to do this in. Hugely powerful moon. Okay. Also understand that at the moment we've got Neptune still retrograde, okay, in Pisces. So it's that whole dreamy weemy thing that we've got going on. But Neptune goes direct on the 28th of November. Okay, so we don't have much time left with Neptune. One of Neptune's functions is actually to protect us from the harshness of real realities, of things like that. So we can still work with the energy of Neptune. Neptune's actually helping us in retrograde with that. Okay, but it also does, remember where I said there could be surprises, it also does speak of, especially with full moons and things like that, it does speak of secrets and things like that. So there's possibilities that secrets will be revealed and things like that. So just a heads up. But guys, release whatever is toxic. Okay, it's time now. It needs to go, especially if it's with yourself. Because once you sort yourself out, I often say to my clients, I say, oh, I can't manage this and I can't manage her and I can't manage. You don't need to manage anybody else. Manage yourself and everything else will fall into place. Okay, fact. Right, then the last one, I said, what is the outcome, okay, for our full moon? And I got the most beautiful card. Cornucopia. Okay, so an abundance of everything. Also, it's an 11. 11 is mastery of self. It's a number of mastery of self. Okay, it's also actually a twin flame number, just for those who are working with twin flames and that kind of stuff. Okay, so with this, we go through all of this. We're being rewarded for the work. I've said this in a couple of readings. We're being rewarded for the work that we're putting in, and the work that we are doing. So it is very, very important that we actually do the work, guys. It's now time. I know that a lot of us have been consistently working through it, but it is now time to really, really put the effort in and just do that last like kind of push of stuff that we can clear out before the end of the year. Really can. I've started to feel the change in the energy already for this year, and it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be really, really beautiful. So work towards it. Get yourself in order. Get yourself aligned. Also remember that with full moon cycles, like any cycle, there are parts to it. Full moons are where we so the new moon is the start of a new cycle, and the full moon is a completion of it. Okay, so I tend to release every moon. Okay, every new moon and every full moon I release as much as I can, to get rid of what no longer serves me. So again, do your releases, let go of what doesn't serve you, but also look at what you have achieved, what's come to fruition. So this moon, you'll look at like the kind of things you've planted about 6 months ago, about April time. Look at what you were looking for back then, if you're vigilant about your moon rituals and things like that, and see what comes to pass. Okay, so guys, that's your energy for this week. Beautiful energy for the full moon. Letting go, releasing, be in the flow of things. Really, really senses of community, and then just cornucopias, which is absolutely beautiful. What a beautiful way to end. So I will be back tomorrow with you for your astro guide for the I need to say for the week. Bless me, for the full moon. And just a heads up, I have got some new cards coming in. I cannot wait. God, but loot is taking forever. I have got some new cards coming in, so this is going to be really, really exciting because I need to just freshen up the energy of everything. So there's some really exciting cards to look forward to. Goddess energy cards and all sorts of things. So love you all lots. Thank you for joining me. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. I will see you tomorrow and start preparing for your full moon. It's a big one. Lots of love and blessings of the goddess always. Mwah.